Hi, I'm Blythe. We're going to do mixed movement for about 1 hour, and it's just a blend of both Pilates and yoga. I've got lots of props today, 2 blocks, 2 toning balls, and a squishy ball too. So I'm going to just place my toning balls off to the side because we don't need them right away, and same with the squishy ball. And if you have blocks, I just grab them either side of the top of your mat. And then let's just meet in a downward dog. So hands near to the front of the mat and hips tall to the ceiling. Try to just pedal out through your legs to start. So you're going to be bending one knee and then the other, placing the opposite heel heavy to the floor. Really push into both hands so you feel your shoulders lifting up away from the ground as well as away from your ears. Then hold your legs steady. Just have a tiny bend or maybe a big bend in both knees, whatever feels good. Trying to bring some length through the backs of your legs and through your back. Then on your next inhale, we're going to just glide forwards into a plank. So top of a push-up, shoulders over top of the wrists, and then take it back downward dog, hips tall towards the ceiling, just going pretty slow to start. Again, inhale, come forwards to plank, top of a push-up. Try and get your neck long so you're looking at the floor. And then exhale back, downward dog, hips tall to the ceiling. This time, come forwards to plank, and then we're going to pause right there. Shoulders stay over top of the wrists. Then let your knees both land on the ground, still in a plank. Lower your chest all the way down to the ground. Reach your arms back alongside your body. Palms turn up to the ceiling. Inhale, lift your chest and your arms up. Exhale, lower the chest and the arms back down. 2 more times. Inhale, lifting chest and arms. Palms are still up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower, pressing the hips heavy into the ground. Last one. Inhale to lift. Shoulders are drawing back away from the ears. Exhale, lower down. Hands pull in by the ribs. Toes tuck under, move back to downward dog, hips to the ceiling. Lift your right leg up, so you're in 3-legged dog, but keep the hips square towards the ground. We're going to draw knee to nose, shoulders over top of the wrists, and then pull your leg all the way up and back again, 3-legged dog. Again, knee to nose, drawing shoulders over the wrists, and then stretching that right leg all the way up and back. This time, knee to nose, stay there, different. You're going to look forwards, right foot between your hands, left knee down, low lunge, both arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to take our left hand to the outside of your right leg. Let your right arm stretch back behind you. Maybe looking over your right arm or right shoulder. Let your left hand push into your right thigh and your right thigh push back into the hand, and there should be no movement there. So the twist is really just coming from your back, not as much in your neck. Then just twist forwards, both arms reach back up to the ceiling. We're going to find our blocks either side of our front foot, tuck our back toes, and then lift the back knee. Try and let your right hip draw back and your left hip draw forwards. Hips are square. Really push into your right foot so you feel the back of the right leg engage a lot. So the right hamstring is super strong on the right glute as well. Keep your back fairly flat with the ceiling. Then we're going to start to reach the right arm back behind you. So the wrist is lifting to the height of the shoulder. Palm can be turning up to the ceiling. Then if you feel steady, reach your left arm back behind you as well. Both palms will be turning up towards the ceiling. It's like you're in this runner's lunge with the arms back. Keep holding there. Keep a focus on hip square, right hip drawing back. Then on your next inhale, lift the chest and the arms up so you're in a high lunge shape. Start to straighten through your front leg and let your arms come down alongside your body, wrists underneath the shoulders. Then rebend the front knee and reach your arms back up to the ceiling, wrists over the shoulders. Straighten the front leg, both arms come down beside you. Rebend the front knee, arms reach up. One more time, straightening front leg, arms come down. Then rebend your knee, arms reach up. Plant the hands down to your blocks, either side of your front foot. And then let's just take the blocks out to the side, go to downward dog, hips to the ceiling. Come forwards to plank, top of a push-up, shoulders over the wrists. Let your knees come to the floor, elbows come narrow, lower the chest and belly all the way down. This time, hands wider than your mat. Fingers turn a little bit wider, and then start to lift your chest up away from the ground, any amount. Then lower your chest all the way back down, twice more. Inhale, lift your chest up, pushing into the floor. Exhale, lowering chest back down. One more time, inhale, lifting up, just getting some movement through the back. Exhale, lowering back down. Hands in tight to the ribs, toes tuck underneath. Press through tabletop into downward dog so hips are tall. Make sure you've got enough space between your hands and your feet. Then lift your left leg up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. On an inhale, come forwards with the left knee to the nose, shoulders over top of the wrists. Exhale, kick the left leg all the way up and back. Inhale, coming forwards, knee towards the nose, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, kicking the leg all the way up and back. This time, knee to nose, pause there, look forwards, and then place your left foot down between your hands, right knee to the floor, low lunge, chest and arms lift up. Let your right hand come outside of your left knee or outside of the left leg, and left arm stretch back behind you. Start to really push the right hand into the left leg, and left hand will push back into the right hand. So there's a bit of force there. Twist should be coming through the mid-back. One more breath just like that. And then twist back center, both arms reach to the ceiling. Then the hands are going to find the blocks, tucking our back toes, lifting the back knee up off of the mat. The wrists are right below the shoulders, so the blocks are in. Really push into your left foot so that you feel the strength building through the back of your left leg. Look down to the ground so your neck stays long. And then for more strength, see if your left arm can reach back and your palm would be turned up to the ceiling. And when I say more strength, it's more strength through the back of your leg and your hamstring on that left side, and through the back of your left arm and the upper back, and then reach your right arm back as well. Both palms are turned up, hips stay square. We should feel a little bit of fatigue happening through the back of your left leg as you stay really steady with the hips square. Last breath like this, and then on your inhale, you're lifting into high lunge, chest and arms lift up. Pausing just for a moment, getting that good strength through the legs as well as maybe a stretch at the front of the right hip. Then we're going to plant our hands back down to the blocks, take the blocks out to the sides, hands to the ground, downward facing dog, hips tall. Come forwards, plank, top of a push-up. Knees down to the ground, still in a plank. Elbows come narrow, lowering chest all the way down to the ground. Then reach your arms forwards in front of you. Your body's kind of like an X shape now. We're gonna inhale and lift the chest, right arm, left leg. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift chest, left arm, right leg. Exhale, lower back down. So just opposite arm and leg. Inhale, lifting chest, right arm, left leg. And lower. Other side. Inhale, lifting chest, left arm, right leg. And lower. For the last one, let's inhale and lift everything up. Both arms, both legs. And lower down. Hands in by your ribs. Come through tabletop, tuck your toes, lift up, downward facing dog, hips to the ceiling. Walk your feet all the way forwards to your hands. Bring your hands to your shins, come to a flat back with the ceiling. Forward bend, fingers to the ground. Roll your way up to stand, so your back is rounded, you have bends in your knees. Head comes up last, and then just roll your shoulders back in together a few times. Make sure your blocks are just either side of your mat. Then inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch together. Exhale, forward bend, hands to the floor. Inhale, lifting up halfway, hands to the shins. Exhale, fingers down. Right leg steps way back, let the right heel turn in. Back foot's parallel with the short edge of the mat. Reach the chest and the arms up, warrior two, looking over your left wrist. The front heel, if you draw a line back, should be around the arch of your back foot. Keep the shoulders relaxed down, and then turn your left palm up and lean back. The right hand's gonna just slide down the back leg a little bit. Should be really light on the back leg. Take 2 more breaths like this. And then use obliques to lift yourself back up. Warrior two. And then straighten through your front leg. I like to take the back foot in a little bit for triangle. I'm gonna reach forwards really far. And then I'm gonna find my block and reach my left fingers to the block, right arm tall to the ceiling. Try and focus that your right hip is coming back. It's not squaring forwards. Keep looking to that top hand if it feels okay on your neck. And if not, you look down to the ground. Take 1 more full breath like this. And then use an exhale and just lift yourself all the way back up. Cartwheel your hands down either side of your front foot. Lift your back heel up. Go back downward dog. Hips tall to the ceiling. Inhale forwards to plank, top of a push-up. Exhale back, downward facing dog, hips tall. Twice more. Inhale forwards, plank, top of a push-up. Exhale back, downward dog, hips to the ceiling. Last time. Inhale, coming forwards. And exhale, hips tall. Walk your feet forwards to your hands all the way, so you're in a forward bend. And then bring your hands to your shins, flat back with the ceiling. Exhale, forward bend. Then roll yourself up to stand. So remember to keep bends in your knees. Just 1 bone at a time lifting. Arms reach up to the ceiling. Palms touch together. Forward bend, hands down to the mat. Inhale, lifting up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fingers down. Left leg back. Turn your left heel in. And then cartwheel yourself up into warrior two, looking over your right wrist. Equal weight in both feet. Try and have a lot of weight in your back foot. Then turn your right palm up and lean back. Left hand just slides down the left leg. Try and keep focusing, equal weight in both feet, light weight in your back hand. And then coming back, warrior two. We're going to straighten through our right leg, our front leg, and then heel toe your back foot in a little bit so it's a more short or narrow stance. Reach forwards as far as you can with your right hand and right arm. And when you can't reach anymore, try and find your block and place your right fingers on the block, left arm up to the ceiling. You're looking up towards your left hand. If the block is far, you can have your hand just resting higher up on your shin or thigh. If looking up to the ceiling is a lot on the neck, you look down to the ground. It could be a lot on the neck, or it could be a lot of work for balancing. One more breath here. And then you're exhaling to lift all the way back up. We're going to start to bend in our front knee, cartwheel the hands down either side of the front foot, lift the back heel, go back downward facing dog. Inhale, forwards plank, top of a push-up. Going slow, exhale, hips tall, downward dog. Twice more. Inhale, forwards plank, taking your time. Exhale, hips tall. Last time. Inhale, drawing forwards. Exhale, back. Look forwards, bend your knees. Start to walk all the way forwards, feet to hands. Then hands to shins, flat back. Forward bend, hands to the ground. Bends in your knees, rolling all the way up, standing. Once you get there, just roll the shoulders back and down. Then we're going to find our weights. And we're going to start to take some squats, or in yoga, like a chair pose. So have your feet just hip distance apart, using the toning balls in your hands. We're going to start to sit low and lift our arms up just with bent elbows, so the arms make this 90-degree shape. Elbows lift to shoulder height. And then we're going to exhale to stand and let your arms come all the way down beside you. We're going to sit low, arms lift up, elbows to the height of the shoulders, and then come all the way to stand and arms come down beside you. Sitting low, arms are lifting in a 90-degree shape, and then coming up to stand. Again, inhale, sitting low, elbows lift to shoulder height. Exhale, pushing yourself up to stand from the backs of your legs, from the hamstrings and the glutes. Inhale, sitting low. Exhale, pushing yourself to stand, arms come straight, wrists underneath the shoulders. Last one. Sit low, arms lift, and then coming all the way up to stand. Let's start to just reach the arms up in a T shape, and then arms back down beside you. Arms lift up in a T shape, and then arms back down. This time, arms lift, and we're going to hold there. Equal weight in both feet, just make circles with your arms. Up and back, up and back. Then make circles forwards if you were going backwards, or just switch directions. 2 more circles like this. And then we're going to start to lower our arms all the way down beside us. Good. Take your weights down to the ground, and then with your feet about hip distance apart, we're going to see if we can sit all the way down to the ground. This is where you might need your hands behind you. We're going to just sit all the way down. Then I'm going to find my squishy ball and place it behind my very low back. So I'm going to lean forwards, place my squishy ball behind me, and then I'm going to find my weights again, having my elbows bent. My shoulders are just behind my hips. Elbows are bent. Arms are at 90. I'm gonna do the same arm movement, leaning back like this. I'm gonna exhale, lift my elbows up to the height of the shoulders. Inhale, let my arms draw back, elbows underneath the shoulders. Exhale, lift my arms up, elbows to the height of the shoulders. Inhale, lower my arms back. Keep going. Pulling my arms up and then drawing my arms back. 2 more. Arms are lifting up and gliding back. Last one, arms are lifting up, hold there. Let just your right arm open up wide and then let it close back in. Let just your left arm open up wide and then close back in. Right arm opens, chest stays square, back's not turning, and then left arm opens. Keep alternating like that. Right arm and in, left arm and in. Okay, that's good for that. Let the arms come forwards. And then let the upper arm bones pull back. With straight arms, it's extra challenging. Let your arms open up wide and then draw back in. Arms open up wide and draw back in. 2 more times. Arms open up and close in. Last one. Arms open up. Good, and close in. Let your palms turn to the ground. Weights come to the ground, hands on the knees to lift yourself all the way up. Now make sure that your squishy ball and your weights are nearby you. You can have your knees bent, feet on the ground, arms stretch forwards. We're gonna try for a really long back to start. Then start to slowly, gradually round your back and try and place yourself down on the ground, just 1 bone at a time. And then let your hands come down to the ground. I'm gonna make sure my props are just a bit nearer to me. Then take your squishy ball and place it between the inner thighs and have your knees bent, feet on the ground, toes pointing forwards, feet hip distance apart. Then we're gonna start to exhale, squeeze in really tight on the ball. Inhale, soften that grip. Exhale, squeeze in really tight on the ball. Inhale to soften that grip. A few more. Exhale, squeezing in really tight. Inhale, relax that. Exhale, squeezing in really tight. And then inhale, relax. Keep going and feel that your low belly, the deeper core muscles, will engage as your inner thighs engage and pull in on the ball. 2 more times. Good, and then next time that you're squeezing in, just let it land at like a medium grip. Take your arms down alongside your body. Keep a grip on the ball. Start to come into some bridge lifts. We're gonna roll the hips up to the ceiling, 1 bone at a time, lifting. And then start to roll your back down to the ground, 1 bone at a time. Keep going. Rolling hips up. And rolling the back down. Rolling the hips up. And rolling the back down. This time, hips are gonna stay at the top of your bridge. You're just looking straight up to the ceiling, then start to pulse in on the ball again. So now we've got glutes, hamstrings, inner thighs, all really active. Remembering everything should feel comfortable. You know, we're fatiguing the muscles, but there's no kind of pain at your back. Always rest if you need a rest. We take a lot of repetitions when we're doing all the Pilates exercises. Take about 5 more pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then start to roll your back slow down to the ground. Keep the ball where it is. Take your hands to the back of your head and interlace your fingers together. We're going to exhale, lift the head, neck, chest, and a tiny ab curl. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, small ab curl, lifting head, neck, chest just a little bit. And then lower. Adding on, as your chest lifts, squeeze as tight as you can on the squishy ball. And then as the head lowers, relax that grip. Exhale, lift the chest, squeeze in as tight as you can on the ball. Inhale, lower back down. 3 more the same. Exhale, lifting and squeezing in. Inhale to lower. Twice more. Exhale, lifting. And lower. Last one. Exhale, chest lifts, legs pull in. And lower back down. Take your hands out, find the squishy ball. We're going to lift the legs one at a time into table. And then we're going to place the squishy ball just between our kind of ankles or shins, below the knee with the squishy ball. Then the knees are right over the hips. Take your arms just alongside the body, but a little bit wider. Side to side with the legs. Legs are going to go over to the right, only slightly. Knees are farther to the right than the hips. And then you're going to exhale and lift the knees directly over the hips. Keep a hold of the ball. Knees are coming over to the left. And then exhale, knees back to center. Slow, over to the right. Exhale, knees to center. Over to the left. Exhale, knees to center. Over to the right. Exhale, lift back center, stay with it. Over to the left. And back to center, pause there. If you can, back stays neutral. We're going to start to stretch the legs forwards and then bend your knees back over top of the hips. Exhale, push the legs forwards. Inhale, knees over the hips. Twice more. Push the legs forwards, knees over hips. One more time. Exhale, kicking legs forwards, and then knees over hips. Bend your knees a lot so you can find the ball. Place one foot down and then the other. Lift your hips up, and then just slide the ball underneath your low back at the sacrum. Make sure your weights are nearby you. Looking straight up to the ceiling, and then start to lift the right leg into tabletop, and then lift the left leg into tabletop. Toes point forwards, tap your right toes down to the ground, thigh bone hinges. Exhale, lift. Tap your left toes down to the ground, thigh bone hinges. Exhale, lift. Keep going. Right toes tap. Exhale to lift. Inhale, left toes tap. Exhale to lift. Inhale, right toes tap. Exhale to lift. Inhale, left toes tap. Exhale to lift. Keep this pattern with the legs just alternating and marching. And then if you feel steady, reach both arms up to the ceiling. Then we're going to start to let same arm to leg stretch back behind us. So as your right toes tap down, right arm comes back, and then we're lifting. Left toes tap down, left arm comes back, and then we're lifting. right side, left side, right side, and left side. Keep going. Lots of core strength for low belly and sides of the waist as they work for stability. Upper abdominals are also challenged more as our arms stretch back. If it feels wiggly with the arms moving, then I would just have the arms down on the ground and keep doing the leg work. The next time that your left leg lifts, pause right there. We're going to place the right foot to the ground and then the left foot. Keep your arms up. Then we're going to start to bend our elbows out wide until the upper arm bone touches the ground and our arms make a goal post shape. And then exhale, push the arms up. Inhale, bend the elbows out wide until the upper arm bone and the elbow touch the ground or towards that. And then exhale, push the arms straight up. Inhale, elbows bend, upper arm bone comes out, push the arms up. 3 more. This is 1. Exhale, pushing the arms up. Inhale for 2. And inhale for 3. Then when your arms push up, keep the palms facing into center. Let the right arm come back, left arm come forwards, and then lift the arms back up. Left arm comes back, right arm comes forwards, and lift the arms up. Right arm back, left arm forwards, and lift. Left arm back, right arm forwards, and lift. 1 more, either direction. Then when the arms lift back up, turn the palms forwards, let the arms come all the way down, and let your weights go off to the side. Lift your right leg up, table, and then straighten your right leg tall to the ceiling. We're still on our squishy ball. Point your toes. Start to let your right leg float down until the heel almost touches the ground. And then exhale, lift the right leg all the way up, ankle over the hip. Inhale, lower the right leg to kind of hover away from the ground. Exhale, lift the leg all the way up. 3 more times. Inhale, lower. Leg stays long. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. When the ankle's over top of the hip, just bend your knee so the leg's in table. Lift the left leg into tabletop as well. And then start to make bicycle movements with your legs. Just cycling forwards. Really reaching your leg forwards. Keep looking up to the ceiling. Keep kind of softening around your neck and jaw. Then hold your legs steady, ankles over the hips, or knees over the hips. Then right foot down to the ground. Now straighten your left leg, ankle over the hip, toes to the ceiling. Let your left leg float down just to hover, and then exhale, the leg lifts up slow and smooth. Again, inhale, lower your left leg to hover. Exhale, lift the leg up, ankle over the hip. You can feel that the muscles in the low belly are active. Taking 3 more. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. 2 more. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Last one. Exhale, lifting. And then start to bend your knee into table. Include the right leg up into table. Then start to bicycle your legs forwards again. Keep looking up to the ceiling. Reaching the legs forwards quite a bit. And then hold your legs, knees over top of your hips. Place one foot to the ground, then the other. Lift your hips up, slide the squishy ball out, lowering your back all the way down to the ground. Take your arms back alongside your body, palms face down. Then we're going to start to lift your hips up in your bridge. Toes are pointing forwards. And then lower your back all the way down, moving slow. Exhale, hips lift up to the ceiling. Inhale, back lowers down to the ground. 3 more times. Exhale, hips lift up. Inhale, lowering down. Twice more. Exhale, hips lift up. Inhale to lower your back down. Last time. Exhale, hips rise up. Hold at the top. Let your right hip bone lift higher than your left, and then let it lower back level. Left hip bone lifts higher up than the right. Let it come back level. Right hip lifts and down. Left hip lifts and down. Right, down, left, down. Right, down, left, down. Keep going, just at your own pace. Try and keep it steady. Feeling the glutes really activate as your hip lifts. They should be active the whole time because we're up in our bridge. The next time that your left hip comes level with your right, we're going to just lower our back all the way down to the ground. Lift your right leg into tabletop and then your left leg also into tabletop. Take your hands together behind the back of your head, elbows are wide. Then we're going to exhale, lift the legs up straight and take a tiny sit up. Then inhale, bend your knees and lower your head down. Exhale, we're lifting your chest up, lifting the legs up, and then bending your knees, lowering the head down. Exhale, head, neck, chest, legs, all lift and lower. 2 more. Exhale, lifting. Inhale to lower. Last one, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Take your hands out, arms down to the ground, right foot down, left foot down. Straighten your legs long on the ground, and then we're going to take our arms all the way back behind us on the floor. We're going to exhale and roll all the way up sitting. Then bend your knees a little bit and forward bend over your legs. Taking a lot of bridge lifts, we get a lot of strength through the backs of the legs. Trying to balance it out with a stretch or a few stretches, lifting the chest up. Back is long, arms lift, and then roll yourself down to the ground smooth. Arms will reach all the way behind you. Again, exhale, lifting up to sitting. And then start to bend your knees to help forward bend over the legs. Just relax and round your back. Notice what the stretching feels like through the backs of the legs. Then lift yourself back up sitting, arms stretch forwards, rolling yourself all the way down to the ground. Arms reach way back behind you. Again, exhale, coming all the way up sitting. Bend your knees so that you can forward fold over your legs. At this time, we're going to just come up sitting. You're going to take your ankles out to the sides, then come into tabletop again, so hands and knees. I'm going to let my left foot come a little bit wider to the left, so out wider than my hip. And I'm going to start to lift my right leg and my right arm up. So my right hip is stacked over my left hip, my right shoulder is kind of stacked over my left shoulder. Then I'm going to place my right hand down and my right knee down, taking my right foot wider than my right hip so I can lift my left leg with a bent knee and my left arm up. Continue on. Left hand finds the ground, hips level and square. Left foot comes out wider than the hip. Right arm and right leg lift. Look to the ground. Hips are going to come back square. Right knee comes to the ground, and then right foot comes wider than the right hip as the left leg and the arm lift up. We're going to add on the next one. If this feels like plenty of work, keep doing this. As the right arm and the right leg lift, we're going to just take the right hand onto the right hip, and then we're going to start to make circles with the right thigh bone. Really push into your left hand, just getting a lot of circles in, and the outer glute should start to feel it quite a bit more. Try and take 2 more circles. Then all the same on the next side. Right arm can reach back up, look down to the ground, hand to the ground, right knee to the ground, foot wider than the hip, left arm, left leg lift, and then we're taking left hand onto the hip and making some circles here, left thigh bone circling in the hip. You can look up to the ceiling, you can look down to the ground, whatever feels best on your neck. Focus mostly your attention through the outer left hip, making sure that your right arm feels comfortable as well. The right shoulder is quite far from the right ear. 2 more circles like this. And then you're going to look to the ground, left hand to the ground, left knee to the ground, toes tuck underneath. We're going to exhale, hover our shins and knees off of the ground. Inhale, lower them back down. Exhale, hovering the knees and shins. Inhale, lower. This is your last one. Exhale, lift and hover. Inhale, lower. Come onto your fingertips. And then just step your right foot forwards in between your hands. Hands can lift onto your thigh, tucking back toes, looking at some spot on the ground that feels very steady. Then we're going to exhale. We're just going to hover our back knee off the ground slightly like that, and then lower it back down. Exhale, lift the back knee only a little bit and hover, and then lower. Few more like that. Exhale, lift. Find your inner thighs working. Find the right hamstring and glute working. Keep going. Exhale, lifting to hover. Inhale, lower. 2 more. Exhale, lift to hover and lower. 1 more. Lift to hover and lower down. Let your left hand come to the ground. Right arm come up in a twist. And then take some circles with your right arm. 2 more circles like this. Then let your right hand come outside of your right foot. Slide your right knee all the way back. come into a child's pose shape. So bum back to the heels, arms forwards, and then glide forwards all the way into plank on the hands and the knees. Then go all the way back into child's pose. Bum back to your heels, getting a stretch, and then come forwards into a plank on your hands and knees. Last time coming up, bum back to the heels, and then shifting the weight forwards into your plank. This time, when the hips come back to the heel, just walk your arms over towards the right a little bit. And then walk your hands through center and over towards your left. Good. Hands back to center, come up into table. Take your hands onto your fingers, and then left foot steps forwards, using your hands on your front thigh to lift yourself up, shoulders over top of the hips. Then tuck your back toes underneath, and we're just going to take those hovers. So you're going to exhale, back knee lifts. Inhale, it places back down gently. Exhale, back knee lifts. Inhale, places down gently. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Watch to make sure that your hips are square forwards. Taking it twice more. Exhale, lifting. Inhale, lower. One more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Right hand down to the ground. Left arm to the ceiling, and your twist, and you're making some circles with your left arm. Then let your left hand place outside of your left foot, and you can take your left knee back. Now we're just going to let our ankles come out to the side, and then straighten your legs forwards. We're coming back all the way to the ground. Take a block with you, and just have it kind of in the middle of your mat so you can reach it. Let your arms stretch forwards, and then we're going to roll ourselves all the way down to the ground. Let your arms reach all the way back behind you, so you're getting this long stretch. Then find your squishy ball. So we have all of the props near us. We're going to place the squishy ball behind the upper back, kind of between the shoulder blades. Then bend your knees, feet to the ground. Take your hands back behind your head and arch back over the ball. Make sure it's in a comfortable spot. If you need to shift it higher or lower, do so. Then we're going to exhale, lift the chest up just a little bit so that your back comes pretty well neutral or long. And then exhale, relax back over it. Keep going, lifting your chest up. And then lower the head back down. Exhale, lifting the chest up. Then lower back down. Trying to get core engagement as we lift. And then trying to get some space and stretch as you lower. So when you lift up, you're getting that strength. When you lower back, you're stretching through the back and the chest. Take it 3 more times, lifting up, elbows stay wide, and lowering back down. 2 more times, exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 1 more time, exhale, lifting, inhale, lowering. This time, we're just going to lift ourselves up. Take one forearm to the ground to let your chest lift. Take the ball out from your upper back, and then we're going to place the ball below our right foot. take your hands onto your low belly, just glide your right leg forwards, and then draw it in. Glide your right leg forwards and draw it back in. We should get a bit of strength through the belly and the front of the hip. If you have a lot of length through the back of the left leg, then we're going to start to lift it to the ceiling as our right foot draws in. So left leg's going to stretch up, and we're just going to hold the back of the left leg at the hamstring, keeping the leg long while we take our leg slides on the right leg. If you prefer a bit more movement, as your leg comes long, you can bend your left knee until the shin comes flat with the ceiling. And as you draw the ball in, you will straighten your leg until the ankle's over the hip. As the leg stretches long on the ground, you bend your knee till the shin's flat with the ceiling. As your leg pulls in the right leg, the left leg comes straight. 2 more exactly the same. Last one. Good, and then we're going to release the grip that we have on our left leg. So we're going to slide the ball underneath our left foot. Our right foot's on the ground to start. We just slide the left leg forwards and back. Keep breathing. Try and keep your right thigh steady. Then if you want to get some more length for the back of the right leg, the next time the left foot's drawn in, pick up the right leg straight to the ceiling, wrap your hands around the back of the leg, and then start to slide the left leg forwards and draw it in. Slide the leg forwards and draw it in. If to have your right leg straight to the ceiling, it's hard to have your back neutral, your low back on the ground, then I would just place it back down on the floor. If your low back can stay on the ground with your left leg moving and your right leg up, then you can continue this way. Remember to stay so light on the ball. And then if you want more movement than this, as your leg glides forwards, you're going to bend your right knee until the shin's flat with the ceiling. Then as your leg pulls in, the right leg stretches tall. As the left leg moves forwards, your right shin comes flat with the ceiling. As the leg pulls in, the right leg stretches tall. Take it 3 more times. Twice more. Good, last one. Then you're going to bend your right knee, let it place down to the ground, your foot, take the squishy ball out to the side. Doing our last round of bridge lifts. Arms beside you, palms face down, feet hip distance, rolling hips up to the ceiling, and then rolling the back down to the floor. 4 more times. Slow, lifting the hips up to the ceiling, and then back down to the ground. 2 more times, lifting hips up, rolling back down. This time, as the hips up, hold them there at the top. Then you're going to let your toes pull off the ground towards the shins and then place them down. Toes are lifting and then back down. Keep going. Toes lift and down, lift and down, lift and down. Keep going. Keep the hips up off the ground or keep the Bum up off of the ground in your bridge, hips up to the ceiling, and you're moving at your ankles. Toes are peeling off the ground, and you're feeling the fronts of the shins really strong and active. Take it 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then when your toes place back down to the ground, we're going to lift our heels up off of the ground and lower. Heels lift and lower, lift and lower. Keep going, getting that strength through the calves, and we want to really feel strong all around our ankles. Keep breathing. Keep your knees tracking forwards of your hips. Keep pulsing the heels. See if you can move your heels up and down a little bit faster, maybe smaller lifts. Try and take it 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold the heels up at the top. Just hold steady. Try and find that there's equal weight all across the balls of your feet. So behind your big toe out to behind the baby toe, even weight. And then start to roll your back smooth all the way down to the ground. Once your low back touches the ground, let your heels touch down. Stretch your right leg tall and just catch the back of the leg anywhere you can reach, and make circles with your right ankle. Trying to stretch deeper through the calf and the shin while keeping the stretch at the hamstring too. Take 2 more circles with your ankle here, and then release that grip and place your right foot down to the ground, left leg tall, catch behind the back of the leg, and make circles with your ankle. You can have as much of a bend in your knee as you need. Two more circles with the left ankle. And then releasing the grip, foot to the ground, finishing with a twist. We're going to let the hips lift up and slide over to the left, and let both knees come down over to the right. Then see if you can reach your left arm up to the ceiling, and then open the left arm out wider to the left, away from your legs. Trying to have your whole upper back heavy on the ground, so both shoulder blades heavy. Just looking up to the ceiling, or maybe even your eyes are closed. Final breath on this side. Then use an exhale to let your knees lift back up to center. Feet come down to the ground, left arm comes in. And then lift up your hips, slide the hips over towards the right. Let your knees come down over to the left, legs stacked. Reach your right arm up, and then let the right arm open wider to the right. And adjust so your whole upper back is just heavy on the ground. You're looking up to the ceiling, or your eyes are closed. Good, and then just one final breath on this side. You're going to exhale to help to lift your legs back up to center. Feet come down to the ground, hips draw in, right arm pulls back in. Then just roll over to either side and let your hands help to push you all the way up, back sitting. You're all finished for today. Thanks so much for joining.